F80 M3, F82 M4 brakes and rotors on a E-chassis car, E82 or E88, E90. Let's get into it. This car started out as a 128. We're slowly changing out everything on the vehicle that was from a 128. Really, the only thing suspension-wise that's going to remain are these 128 knuckles and wheel bearings. They're the same as a 135 setup, so no need to change the fronts if you have a 128. When we get to the rear, that's a much different story. You're going to be way better off starting with a 135. Otherwise, you're going to have to go through what I'm going through and changing out the whole hubs and everything, but we're going to get to that point. So we've got all the old suspension and brakes and everything else off of the front of the 128. We have a refreshed knuckle and a wheel bearing on here, and we're going to get started on replacing everything on the front here brake wise with everything from a F80 M3. You are going to need a set of rotors front and rear. You can choose to go OEM from the dealership and get those two-piece rotors. I opted to just go for the cheap one style, one piece steel rotor. I got these from Rock Auto. It was a whole set of 4, super affordable. I think it was close to $400 for the whole set. And there was also a $60 mail-in rebate. So one piece rotors are going to work fine for what I'm doing. I'm not going to be track racing the car or anything. So I think these are a really good option for those of you that don't want to spend $1,500 to $1,800 on OEM rotors all around. To complete the package, you're going to need a set of F80 M3 or M4 brake calipers. I got these used on Facebook Marketplace, $900 for the whole set of 4. Came with brake pads and everything, but the set of rotors actually came with 2 new sets of brake pads in the front and rear too, so I'll probably end up using those. Going to need some adapter brackets. Seems Legit Garage. These seem to work perfectly. Bolt right onto the caliper, and you can bolt it right up to the hub. Puts it in the exact same spot that it needs to be. And then a set of brake lines. I opted for the Seems Legit Garage stainless steel brake lines in the front as well. These are really nice. These fittings get screwed into the caliper and the brake line for the car. And nice swivel fittings on there. You don't got to worry about the hose twisting up and everything. So these came out really nice on here. Fit into the OEM holders here, into the caliper. Worked out really nice. Can reuse your OEM backing plate. If you do a quick mock-up of the brake caliper on there, you're going to find that you do need to trim the lower part of this heat shield, or I'm sorry, dust shield a little bit. So here around the bottom, it's contacting it and it won't let it bolt up where it needs to be. So you just got to trim a little off the bottom of this dust shield here. The Seems Legit Garage comes with the right rotor screw for the M3 and M4 rotors. So you'll only be able to get one of them in. But that is... Next, the caliper with the new bracket installed. They do come with new bolts with a washer you're supposed to put on. Next up are our brake line fittings. This one here, the fatter one, is going to be the end for the car. Screwed into the brake line like such. Lastly, the brake line installation. So the brake line can go on either direction. Just has to be routed the correct way. You have the brake line run through your bracket that bolts up to the sway bar end link. You're pretty much all finished up. It's really easy on the front axle here. Load your brake pads up, bleed the brake system, good to go. If you do have a 128, there's a bunch more steps you got to take in the rear, so we're going to go over that now. So the rear setup for the F80 brakes is slightly more confusing. It's really not that confusing. If you do the right research, you can kind of avoid some problems that you might arise during the job. But you can see here, do have the F80 brakes on the back of a 128. So it took quite a bit of work to get this to work on the back of a 128. If you have a 135, this literally just bolts right up with the seems legit brackets. You do have to modify the rear parking brake dust shield a little bit. I'll show you that on the other side because I'm kind of going to go through the whole process with you. If you do have a 128 and you're going all out like I am on this car, you have to swap the hub over. So the actual wheel carrier has to get changed over to a 135 or a 335i carrier. The wheel carrier looks like this. It's actually the part that all the entire suspension bolts to. So I bought these. These were off of a 335. And I actually messed up. I bought them as like a total package deal from somebody online, but they already came with hubs and bearings pressed in them. I don't know why I was under the impression it was 135i flanges, but they were not. They're 335 flanges. So they did not work with the F80 brake setup. The 120 or the 135 flange sits about 10 or 11 millimeters out further than a 335 flange. So if you do have 335 knuckles already on the rear with wheel bearings and flanges like you're just a stock 335, you do need to remove this hub flange, which wrecks the wheel bearing, press in a new wheel bearing, and press in 135i hub flanges here. Seems legit. It's gone over this a couple of times, but so that's what I ended up doing that here. So a 335 knuckle, which is actually the same as a 135 knuckle, 135, 335 wheel bearing, and then it has to be a 135i hub that gets pushed in here. That way everything lines up perfectly. So we're going to get this bolted up on the rear, on the driver's side rear, and I'll go over everything with you. One more note that I wanted to make on here too was you can see that I am missing the backing plate for the brake rotor. Much larger backing plate that would sit out about this far. You have to like mutilate it in order to get the F80 brakes on there. You have to cut like a 1 or 2 inch section all the way off around the outside, and then you also have to really hack it up here where the caliper is going to bolt up. You have to like trim it like way back. So I opted to, when I was doing the wheel bearings, just throw them out. I don't really think it's going to make too much of a difference. It'll be fine running it with no backing plate, but you do need these e-brake backing plate if you plan on keeping your e-brake. So if you are starting out with a 128, just be aware that the actual spline count is smaller on a 128. So if you do swap over to a 135i hub like this, you are going to have to change your axles over. So you can either do like a 135 335i differential and their stock axles. I ended up putting an M3 differential in here, and I'm using M3 axles, so that's going to line up with the 135i hubs too. Just something I wanted to make a note of. Now we have the 135 or 335 hub installed, a wheel carrier with a 135i hub flange. So everything's going to line up real nice for our F80 brakes. Another note, if you are using a 128, you do need to switch over to a 135i wheel speed sensor. Again, if you're starting with a 135, you are solid. Don't touch your e-brake. Everything will work fine. If you're doing a 128, you do need to change the e-brake. So I am going to be installing e-brake hardware for a 135 or a 335. It's a bigger than a 128. Ended up having to replace the e-brake cables as well because one side broke and seized into the hub. So I just replaced both of them. I also replaced all the brake lines in the back here too because I had the subframe out of this car. So all the brake lines were seized. If you're going into this with like a real high mileage car, you're probably going to want to just leave all these brake line connections alone and try and just break them free from the caliper. And you can use your OEM brake hoses. I'm going to be using brand new 135i brake hoses off of the back of the F80 calipers. They're okay lengthwise, but most high mileage cars, those brake lines aren't going to come apart. And if you end up breaking these ones here that are like above the subframe, those ones are the real long ones that go all the way up to the front of the car, so those ones are a little bit difficult to replace or even get a hold of. So let's get this e-brake hardware on here so that we can fit the rotor. E-brake hardware is on and done. Time to test fit the rotor. Just make sure that the e-brake is not going to hit or rub. Kind of do like a preliminary adjustment. There's really no drag on it right now, so I can kind of go in a little bit with it. There's like just a little bit of drag on there, so that's where I'm going to leave it for now. The seems legit garage bracket bolted to the back of your F8X caliper, like such, torqued down with a little bit of Loctite. Once you go to test fit this in here, you're going to actually see that you cannot bolt it up without a little bit of modification. So the parking brake backing plate is what actually hits before you can allow the bracket to bolt up. So there is a little bit of trimming on the e-brake bracket that you're going to have to do. You just have to feel it out, put it on there, and just grind away at it until you can get that caliper bolted up. Just don't go too crazy on that caliper bracket because obviously it does hold the e-brake cable, so, or the e-brake assembly. So just a little bit off in this corner and then a little bit off in the bottom half right here. A little die grinder makes pretty quick work of it. So that's really all it takes is just a little off the top and a little off the bottom there. Of course, you're gonna have to cover that with a little bit of touch-up paint just so it doesn't rust. But now the bolts will be able to line up and be bolted in. The caliper does sit just behind the e-brake assembly. Rotor can go on. Rotor bolts will not line up on the rear. Not really a big deal. It does sit on there pretty nicely just because of the e-brake assembly. So you don't really need them. It's just more for ease of installation more than anything else. OEM brake line. Caliper bracket bolts all tight. Push the rotor up against the hub, make sure nothing's hitting, scraping. A little bit of e-brake action, which is fine. But it does look nice on there. We're at the point now where you can load up your brake pads and bleed the system out. If you have a 128, we have one more step. 135, just keep on trucking. Last thing you're gonna have to do if you are a 128 car is swap out the master cylinder. I just finished out swapping out the 128 master cylinder with a 135i master cylinder. You do have to loosen up the booster bolts, nuts from the inside to get enough wiggle room to get it in and out. But overall, really not a bad job swapping over the clutch line and bleeding the system out. I did use a pressure bleeder and probably ran about 2 liters worth of brake fluid through the entire system. So another thing to consider is wheel fitment. This is kind of a big one. These, they don't really look like it. They're brand new wheels. I just finished up painting the car, so it's a little dirty in here. But I did go with these Apex wheels because they have a really nice section on their website that actually goes over exactly what wheels will fit over in E90 or a 1 Series with F80 brakes. Like, they have a whole chart. I'll try to put it in here now, but super awesome that they do that and that they verified all of the different fitment wheel choices that you'll be able to have. They do have a few different wheels that'll fit over the F80 brakes, so that's why I ended up going with these. I thought they were an awesome wheel, and they clear the brakes with room to spare, no spacers needed or anything like that. So that is something else you're going to have to work out before you start on the swap. The F80 brakes, huge addition. I don't think these things are ever gonna fade or not provide me with what I am looking for brake wise, and they look pretty badass too.